Everybody, this is Jack Butler.
And Clayton Olson.
And today we're going to talk about the secret power of relationship. And so really, I see this as a little bit of a pitch. I see this as a pitch to you for why to be in relationship and what, if anything, could a relationship give you that you would never get outside of a relationship.
Yeah.
And the first part of that I would like to unpack is relationship as a mirror. So relationship as a place where things will be revealed to you, things will be reflected to you that is very hard to see on your own, and it's very hard to see in your friendships or your work relationships, because the level of arousal or trigger tends to be higher in love relationships, and that can be difficult. But if you see that as an opportunity for growth, it's actually like you getting a reflection that you can't ignore, like a mirror that you can't but look in, rather than a mirror that you only look in once a year.
Yeah, totally. I know that with friendships, it can be very easy to just take some time away from that person, you know, and take a week or two off and then go hang out with them later, and not actually have to really be in this close, intimate bonding where, like you said, you're really activated.
Totally.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I see, you know, we're here in Colorado, I see that women kind of investing in other places because they don't want to go through some of the difficulties that relationship can bring up. But if you hold those difficulties in a bigger context, it's like these are difficulties to be metabolized to help you grow.
Yes.
So sometimes women will have a primary relationship with a dog, right, as a substitute for a primary relationship with a man or a woman. And sometimes they'll just turn to their girlfriends and they'll maybe like have one or two besties that they do have a deep level of intimacy with, but it's not the same kind of intimacy as can happen in the polarity of a love relationship.
Yes.
So there are a couple of things to look out for.
Yeah, and just while you're talking, I'm loving the idea of relationship as a mirror, because what that communicates is that a relationship may not be easy and harmonious.
Yes.
And that it gives a why of perhaps sticking it out with something that may be difficult, and getting rid of the belief that relationships are supposed to be easy and it's supposed to be flowing, and that the minute it starts becoming hard or you're not feeling it anymore, that it's time to abandon the relationship. I've seen a lot of people get caught in that pattern, and they've allowed that belief to run their life all the way into their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and they finally look back and they say, wow, I never actually invested because I thought relationships were supposed to be like this.
Totally.
And by changing an orientation and saying, well, wait a second, this is possibly an opportunity to step deeper into myself, to really look at the places that I have within me that perhaps need attention, and perhaps there's an opportunity for them to evolve further. It provides a resilience to the connection.
Yes.
Yeah,
I like that.
To push through it and to grow and to learn to love yourself more, love the other person more, and to be with perhaps some of the feelings that come up between two people inevitably, which are the whole myriad of feelings, from anger to disgust to love to
joy to resignation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm kind of reminded, I mean, we traveled last year in Bali, right? And overall, I say that was a great trip.
Yeah.
And if you look at some of the realities, sometimes it was pretty tough, right? Sometimes we're walking around with a big backpack and we don't know where we're staying and we can't find accommodation. Right. You and I were sweating way more than I think we even anticipated we would.
Yeah, the humidity was insane.
It was kind of intense, right? Yeah. Some days we were trying to co-work and we couldn't even really go to work. I just wanted to sit in the pool.
All the plans got changed. Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
And so it's like, if people think travel is easy, right? It's not, but it's fulfilling in part because you have that day where you're like, dude, we figured this out, but it was looking pretty hairy there, right? In the middle.
That's such a good metaphor.
You know? Yeah. So I think it's about the journey. It's about the unfolding. It's about saying, you know what, I'm triggered and I welcome that, and I'm going to get curious and look at it, rather than I'm triggered, oh, my guy's wrong, or like he's doing something wrong. And it's also about embracing the difference that exists oftentimes between men and women, and really celebrating that and getting curious and about integrating some of those other energies in yourself. Because if you always just go to your girlfriends and kind of like bitch about your man, or just I've even had women say to me like, I wish you were just a bit more like my best girlfriend. And I think I get why that's being said, but I think there's a different opportunity that's actually coming up that isn't triggered in best friendship relationships.
Yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying is like this integration of polarities. the perhaps masculine and feminine polarity being able to mix and to be able to see life from different perspectives that are different than your own.
Totally.
Which ultimately expand the way that you experience life, which allows more emotion to come in, more joy, and overall perhaps allowing yourself to be supported again in areas where you might be weak.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to just put this in a slightly bigger context, which is to say that the kind of relationship that you and I are talking about here is probably for most people not the relationship that their parents or grandparents engaged in, right? So traditional relationship was about role playing, right? You're the guy, you bring in the money, I'm the woman, I'll take care of the family. And most women looking at this video will not need a guy to provide for them or provide for them fully. And so the opportunity, therefore, is not about falling into roles. It's about becoming more conscious and actually using the relationship as a vehicle and platform for growth.
Absolutely.
You know, your grandparents probably weren't doing that. So this is a new integration. This is a new relationship playing for them. And it's difficult in many ways. And it's also, you know, you're an investor, Clayton. You know, right? You take more risk, you get more upside. So there's a bigger game that can be played here.
Yeah, and it's, to your point, it's truly not allowing the why of the relationship, why have a relationship, to be inherited from something in the past, but rather now you've got a choice of why you're actually getting into a relationship with somebody. Is it because you're afraid of being alone? Is it because you want security? Right? Well, with social media and just the population, the fact that we are no longer living in these small societies where we're kind of isolated from each other, we can find community. We can create security within ourselves. So why actually get with somebody and go through difficult times? And when you begin to look at it as a personal growth machine and a platform for you to bring your best self to, it starts to become clear what a relationship might look like when both people are fully conscious and entering into it with that purpose.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's reminding me that the higher aspect of the sexual instinct, and I know elsewhere in videos we've unpacked some things about the instincts, but it's about intimacy. That's really the desire to go have sex with someone. Yes, there's like a physiological level need there, but like the real emotional heart, higher desire is intimacy, is actually to breathe with someone, is to connect with them, is to experience with them. And that's the possibility that relationship presents. It's actually to open your heart to the intimacy of now and this moment and what's here and who are you and who am I and who are we becoming, and that's incredible. Yeah,
and I was going to just say that what you're talking about is like sex being like a microcosm for the larger relationship of what that looks like, of actually breathing with the person, experiencing with the person, experiencing life through that other person.
Right. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm a big advocate for relationship, and I'm not saying that from the perspective of having always, quote, been successful in them, right? But in terms of what I've learned through them, more profound. You know, I'm a Cambridge grad, and I'd say it's more profound than what I learned in my degree, for sure. So as you can imagine, Jack and I have conversations like these quite often, and over the last year, we've had a lot of these conversations, and we've been sharing notes on the clients that we've been working with. We both come from very different backgrounds in terms of personal change. And what we found is that there are certain patterns, there's certain blocks and challenges that women have when trying to get into a relationship and create the love that they want. And what we are doing here in the very near future is we're putting on an hour-long webinar where we are going to tackle some of the unseen obstacles that are often right in front of us that stop us from being able to find and create the love that we want. In that hour, we are really promising a paradigm shift, and we're going to open up the challenges and the orientation around relating to men and what it means to be in a relationship in a way that you might not have heard before. So if this is something that you are interested in, click the link below. You can register for a time that works for you. And Jack, do you have anything you want to add to that? Just the avatar of who this is aimed at is successful single women. Single as in single, or single, I'm not really in a relationship that's committed. Finding that maybe running into the same kind of patterns over and over again with guys that are emotionally unavailable. So if you're starting to give up on relationship, or if you feel successful in every domain of your life, but this relationship thing never quite works, I think we've got information that will be really valuable to you, and I'd love for you to come and spend an hour with us. Absolutely. Agreed 100%. So click on the link below, find a time that works for you, and we look forward to seeing you on the other side.